I'm going to repair a lock, and I'm like, okay, this would be the best time for me to show you how I do it. I was lazy and I just did a braid on this one as I added the extension, and normally I don't do that. I do a braid and then I add a smaller piece and I go over it like a braid to create a webbed effect to blend in with the interlocked effect of my locks. So I'm like, okay, since I'm gonna replace this one because I'm going through them, I did rush through some of them. That's what happens when you do your own hair. You can do whatever you want, but once you do it right the first time, you don't have to go back, right? So anyhow, I'm gonna show you how I do that. So if you're gonna do it yourself, first I'm gonna cut it out, but I'm gonna let you know the tools that you can use, okay? So I got my scissors, just normal scissors. They need to be sharp, not hair cutting scissors, because you're not cutting your own hair, you're cutting the extension, right? Scissors, small crochet hook, okay? One tool, this is 0.5 millimeters, and it's the individual one. They come with 3, 2, here's a 3, here's a 1. We're going to be using the 1, okay? Some hair. I have the brown that I added on my ends. Need to grab a piece, 2 pieces. So 1, and this one's 18 inches. And I love the coil on this. And 2. We just need 2 pieces. I'm probably going to split that in half. I always make sure that it's still in the net, so it's not all over the place. And its direction, in terms of length, is still there. You can see, right? This is the length, so it's easy to separate it. I'm gonna cut below where my hair is. Okay, so we're gonna use the hook and we're gonna grab this strand, a thicker one. You want a thin one and a thicker one, right? So we're gonna hold it, make sure that it's in the middle like this. I like to hold it with my finger so that I'm prepared to put it on the hook. We're gonna take the crochet needle and find a spot about 1 inch above, right? And we're going to insert that. You want to make sure it's in the middle. We're going to make sure that it's open for you to put that hair on. Okay, close it, pull one side through. So that's another reason why I hold it with my hand, just like that. Okay, now what I do is I split a bit of one side to make it 3 parts, just like that. Okay, and you want to make sure you're holding the end of your lock as you're braiding it. It doesn't have to be tight, but just as you're passing the end of your lock, you want to make sure that it is impacted or tight within there so it's not peeking out. And I like to hold it with my fingers. As you can see, I always have 2 fingers holding it as I'm braiding it. Okay, so we're just going to loosely braid all the way down. We're going to make sure we're getting the length that we need. And as you have little furry hairs that separate from it, you want to slide it off. So you just want to braid it all the way down to the end. If you want a little curl at the end, leave the end out. Leave that much out because I need it to join with what I'm about to do. Okay, now you take the second part. If it's too thick, just take a little bit off, just in case you need to do it again. Like if you want to do 2, I call it webbery. So you got 2 thin parts, right? Still got the length. So again, I'm going to hold it in my hand, right? And prepare it so that when I'm adding it to the interlock tool. Now, I go a little bit above that area, a little bit above the first attachment, okay? Hopefully it's not blurry. There you go. And I add the thinner one side. So see how I'm holding it with my hand? And this is where you're just going to do a messy braid on top of what you added first, passing it all the way down. Messy, it doesn't have to be neat, right? You're going to get some of this flyaway of some extra pieces. You always want to make sure you're sliding your hand on it like that so you're getting rid of it, you're not ripping it out, okay? And now the piece, your hair, the lock that you added the first extension is going to be one piece, one side to the braid, and you got the two that you just added, right? And you're just going to loosely braid that in. And it may be a little bit shorter than what you put in first, but it's going to work. Just loosely braid, loosely braid. Now I'm going to grab a piece of the end that we left a little bit out, right, the first time. And we're going to make sure we have 3 parts for the braid. And we're going to continue. Again, it's all messy, okay? It doesn't have to be neat. It's all messy. And we leave a little bit at the end so we have a little bit of curl if that's what you want, but you can use the instant lock tool to lock that. So there we go. See? Now we're going to grab the tool, and right where we added the lock, right where we added the first extension, not the one above, right, is where we're going to take the needle itself, where the end of our lock is, and we're going to instant lock it by doing small motions in and out the lock, not ripping it out. Sometimes you need to do that to pull the hair through, right? But I like to roll it between my fingers like that as I'm going like this with the needle, okay? So I'm rolling the hair like that, and the needle's going like this, and I'm going like this sometimes, but I like to keep it in one direction because I know what I'm doing in terms of how I want it to mat within the lock. So I'm attaching the extension that I added to the end of my own lock, and within that inch area, I am instant locking it so it doesn't fall off. And I'm rotating it with my fingers, my thumb, to get a circular motion and focusing on the inside of the lock itself and making sure that it is attached. So I do that. And sometimes when you do that, you'll find that this part will scrunch up. Some people like that, I don't. So I just pull it lightly just to make sure it's stretched out, because as you're going like this, you're pulling the hairs up, right? And some people go all the way down. I used to, but I don't need to. I'll just do it where it's necessary. Okay, and there we go. The end of the lock, if you want to get rid of that little coil, what you do is you bend it. You bend it like that. It's a little bit too, yeah, you bend it just a little bit, right? You can cut that off if you want and go a little bit higher if you want for a shorter length. And you wrap it around like this, and you grab the tool, and then that's when you start to mat. But I'm not doing that today. Only wanted to show you how I added the extension. I'm going to snip away just a little bit of the excess there, and there we go.